Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to just peace out. I know it is a process, but you know what? Life is a process. We have so many things on our plate, so many things vying for our attention. We need to peace out, right? It can be so hard. I was looking at my list of work that I've got to get done today and tomorrow, over the weekend, however, and the different things I need to do. Chris goes to the 34 project today. I was looking at my list of to-dos and this writing and that writing and working on this and working on that, getting ready for this, getting ready for that. And I was like, man, we can just get so busy. And isn't it funny that we live in the age of technology and we have so many things, we automate so many things. I don't have to stand at the sink and wash dishes. I do have to load the dishwasher. I don't have to wash my clothes by hand. I wouldn't know how to wash my clothes by hand, although I have used a rub board once. I do remember that, right? And so I wouldn't know how. We've got all these things to give us more time, and yet it seems like we have less and less time to just take our time and enjoy life, right? I was thinking this morning, I'm still in this doubt fest. I was thinking about how many things we've just got vying for our attention and how many things are going on in our lives. And I thought, what do I even want to talk about today? My head is just going 900 miles an hour. What can I settle down into today? And then I thought, you know what? I just want to focus today on the faithfulness of God. He has been faithful from generation to generation to generation. He's still faithful to us, and he's going to be faithful for the rest of all the generations, however many generations there are to come. He's not going to change. Something that came up last night in our James Bible study was how Abraham, all those years ago, was promised that his seed would be more than the sand of the sea, that he wouldn't even be able to count them. And you know what? Abraham trusted God. He took that statement from God by faith, even though he couldn't see all the way down into 2025 and see you and me sitting here still talking about the things God told him, still talking about the things that God had brought the children of Israel through. He didn't even know what the children of Israel were going to go through all that, right? Because he's way back in Genesis, long before Moses is ever even born, right? Long before Aaron and all of the things that even came about, long before they went into slavery, long before everything. And yet he trusted God's faithfulness, even though he couldn't see how am I going to have, because he knew it couldn't be something physically, that he couldn't physically have more children than the sand of the sea. But we think of all the people who have believed since the time of Abraham, since the time of the garden. We're going to go all the way back, right? Since the time of Abraham. And there's no way to count. And I'm sure God has a number, right? God knows every single person who has trusted him all through the ages. And he knows we are trusting him yet today. But Abraham, that was beyond what Abraham could figure out in his little pea brain, his human brain, right? Is how am I going to have more descendants than the sand of the sea or the stars in the sky? We can't number those. There's no way. We can't even see all the stars. We can't even see all the sand in the sea, on the shore of the sea, or in the bank of the sea and under the sea and all of that. There's no way to know how many grains of sand there are. And yet here we are, 2,025 years on this side of zero. So 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 years later, depending on your theology and thinking, still trusting God. We're still the seed of Abraham by faith, because he's the father of our faith. He trusted God, it said, and God attributed it to him as righteousness because he was trusting God, and he knew God wouldn't lie. And so maybe he couldn't figure out that picture, but we can look back and go, we're part of that. We're one of those. Each of us is one of those grains of sand that Abraham was looking at when God said, your descendants are going to be more than the sand of the sea. You're not even going to be able to number them, because they were all going to be through faith. And don't we still stand in faith today? Isn't that our whole thing? Isn't that the whole thing that Peace Out is about? Is learning how to trust God no matter what. Knowing he's got us covered. Knowing he's with us in our right now, and he's not going to leave us. He doesn't have the capacity to leave us. He can't help himself. He's everywhere. He has nowhere to go that he's not already there. And if he goes somewhere, he's still here. So he literally cannot leave us. I love that about God. But here's the other thing that I was thinking this morning. I was thinking that how many things we've been through. I have not stood on the bank of the Red Sea and seen Moses raise the rod and part it physically. Oh, if you watch Ten Commandments when we were kids, it was always on Easter, right? We've seen it on, was it Yul Gibbons that played Moses? Who was it that played Moses? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, but we haven't stood on the physical banks of the physical Red Sea and watched God part it. Maybe we haven't spent a night in a lion's den and watched God shut the lions' mouths. Maybe we haven't walked through the fiery furnace with 3 Hebrew children because we wouldn't bow to the gods of the day and see the ropes fall off and they did not get burned. Maybe we didn't spend the years in prison like Joseph, believing in the promise of God no matter what he saw with his eyes. Maybe we didn't build an ark. No, not going to build an ark. It would be crooked. I would not be able to get it straight, right? Maybe we haven't seen these things. Maybe we haven't done these things. But haven't we seen God bring us across our Red Seas that we thought were impassable? Have we all not been in situations where we knew we were being pressed on this side? And Paul says one time, we're pressed on every side. We're being pulled apart and we're being pressed. And it's just major stress here, right? We got this situation we don't know what to do with, and this situation we don't know what to do with, and these situations that are pressing in, and we go through those seasons where we just feel like everything is pressurized, life is pressurized, and we don't know what to do. And look at us right here, right now today, still trusting God. That's a testimony. He made a testimony out of our trials. We can look at all these tests that we've gone through. We can look at the trials we've gone through. We can look back and go, you know what? He didn't leave me in any of those. He walked through them with me. And all of a sudden I knew what to do, or all of a sudden people stopped doing something against me, or all of a sudden the finances worked out, or all of a sudden the relationship was either okay or over because we've got to go towards God together, right? But haven't we worked through all those things? Hasn't he been faithful in all of that? That's what I was thinking about this morning. I don't know about the Red Sea. I wasn't there. But I know about my Red Seas, and I know there have been impossible circumstances that just all of a sudden parted before me. And I'm just like, well, how did that even work out? I certainly did not do it. I didn't figure out the right combination. All I did was say, I'm going to trust you, God. And that's what I'm going to do today. And when we do that, when we say it looks impossible, look at Moses standing on the banks of the Red Sea with the Pharaoh's army coming in. He's brought hundreds of thousands of people out of Egypt, and now what? Now what? It looked impossible, but God. And haven't we all got those testimonies of situations we were in where it just looked impossible? It felt oppressive. It felt like we were under the gun and under the pressure, and we didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden it parted, and we walked through. We just followed God through that path that he laid before we got to that place. And all of a sudden we're on the other side and the enemy's gone. He works miracles every single day. Sometimes we don't measure those because it's a personal thing. It seems so little. I'm not leading hundreds of thousands of people across a Red Sea or toward the promised land and expecting God to just pour manna out of heaven and send quail out of heaven and give us water out of the rock. We don't have those extreme circumstances, but don't we have similar circumstances that feel unbeatable? They feel like they're not going to make any sense ever, or they feel like, maybe, we don't know what to do, how we're going to do it, or when we're going to do it, or we don't even know. Maybe sometimes we don't even want to take it to God because it seems so small. But did you know he sees it too? And if it's not small to you, it's not small to him. So no matter what comes today, we're going to just continue following our faithful God, who's going to lead us through the Red Sea on dry ground, those Red Seas situations in our lives, to the other side on dry ground. We're not going to be the one to drown. He's got us covered today, and that's why we can peace out. That's why we can just keep trusting him for one more day, for one more minute sometimes, because life can be so pressing. But the cool thing is, God does not feel that pressure. He is not anxious. He's not in a hurry. He had to wait all those years. He had to wait all those years for the children of Israel to get to the Red Sea before he part it. I wonder if at creation, and I'm letting my imagination run a little bit. Humor me, okay? At creation, did he go, oh, I can't wait till the Red Sea part. I can't wait to walk in the fiery furnace with the 3 Hebrew children and see the king's face go, right? I can't wait to help my children work through time, as I said here, as king of eternity. I bet he was excited about it. I bet he was excited about every healing he knew that was going to happen over time. I bet he was excited about, he said, I can't wait to see when Jesus walks out there to the disciples. That's going to be so epic. And they're going to talk about it forever. I can't wait to see David in the field with the giant. I'm going to take that giant down. I can't wait to see them talk about it for decades and years and centuries to come, because it's going to be epic. Maybe he feels the same way about us today. I can't wait till I can show them my power. I can't wait till they let me work in their lives. I can't wait till they trust me for one more day. I can't wait for today. I wonder if he does that. Maybe that's just my imagination. But what a powerful thing to think about, because nothing has ever taken God by surprise. He's never woke up one morning going, he doesn't sleep, first off, right? A day has never occurred and he goes, oh man, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that was going to happen. I think he's more like, oh, watch this. This is going to be so good, right? As he works on our behalf. And that's why I'm just going to sit back and let him work today and peace out, right? Peace out, you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you bright and early Monday morning.